Welcome to the Volvo Ocean Race. This is your weekend edition of the Daily Show. We'll be talking to Mapfre, we'll be playing with bicycle wheels, and of course, we'll be talking about the positions and what is going on with life at sea. It's tight at the top. Let's have a look at the tracker. At the front of the boat race, we have Dongfeng race team who have stretched out to almost a 6-mile lead. Mapfre and 11th Hour Racing tucked in just behind. There's a bit of a Dutch battle here in the middle with Axon Rebel and Brunel, followed by Hong Kong team Sung Hun Kai Scallywag. And big news yesterday, Turn the Tide on Plastic. They went into stealth mode. You can see that they went a little bit further east when they were blacked out. Nobody knew where they were, but they're still behind and it doesn't seem to have paid for them. Just a couple of minutes ago, we had a chat with Blair Tuke on Team Mapfre. Let's have a look at what sailing at 20.7 knots looks like in the North Atlantic.
We've got a Vestas right on our tail, about just over 2 miles. Been having a pretty good battle with them for the last 24 or 48 hours. So we've been trading blows back and forth between sort of 1 mile, stretch out to 3 miles, and just a bit of a rubber band effect. But yeah, so good battle with them, and then yeah, Dongfeng a little way ahead of us, but you know, we're hang in there with them and even making small gains at times. We've got about, or not even, probably 8 more hours of trade wind sailing now, and then we're into the doldrums, so that'll be a bit of a compression. Yeah, we've been going well. You know, Dongfeng's going quite fast in this stuff, and all the boats are actually. It's you know, it just shows you, you know, with One Design Racing and good sailors on all the boats, that, you know, the speed differences are very small. So, you know, a lot of it comes down to the sort of tactical decisions and, you know, some of the, when the weather sort of changes and there's more clouds involved or different options for the routing, that's when the big splits and you see bigger gains and losses. But the last couple of days, you know, you slave away for 4 hours on your watch and you might gain 0.8 or 1 mile if it's a good one. So it's yeah, it's good though. It means that all the small things count. There's a lot of great people on this boat to learn from, and you know, it's something that every day or every watch I'm getting better or learning the boat better, and no, it's great to be able to contribute to the overall performance of the boat. But no, it's got a long way to go on this one, so hopefully we can keep pushing hard.
So that was Blair Tuke talking about two things. One is the fact that in this One Design fleet, it's really hard to get past your competitors. And two, the doldrums are coming up. Well, the doldrums may actually help them get past Dongfeng, leading the charge at the moment. But first, let's have a look at what exactly these doldrums are. Well, it's all about the macro scale of the weather. We have a high pressure zone here. This one is based over the Azores, and another one down here in the southern hemisphere. Remember, we've got the equator running all the way through here. So even though you've got circulation going around to high pressure this way, everything is reversed down in the south and it turns round the corner this way. Now, bit of a challenge coming up for the navigators, particularly because, remember, the fleet is down right about here, but right next to them, and the thing that is defining their position and their attack through the doldrums is this bit here. There is no wind in the blue triangle of death, and I'm going to have another crack at trying to explain to you why. So, here we are in studio, and I have cooked up a little bit of an analog explanation, because sometimes it seems like the telestrator just can't cut it. So, work with me here, diggers. We're going to go into the camera 3. This bicycle wheel represents the northern hemisphere and that Azores high spinning in a clockwise direction. This one down here represents the St. Helena High in the South Atlantic, and that one, as I just demonstrated, spins in the other direction. So we've got two things here. We've got one circulating that way, another one circulating this way, and this blue triangle of death, the area where there's no wind and you can get literally becalmed for days, is kind of stuck in the middle. Now you've got these wind arrows here coming up and they're fighting against each other. And as a result, there's basically no wind in the middle because there's this competition from the wind from the south versus the wind from the north, and basically there's nothing in the middle. Reason number 2 is that this is the equator, and so you've got so much solar energy coming in, so much heat, then heat rises, and so instead of having the wind flowing across the surface of the sea, which is obviously useful for the sailors, you've got basically this, this fight between the two weather systems, and that, along with the heat, pushes all of the wind vertically, leaving none for the sailors to use when it comes time to be sailing. So, who knows if the bicycle wheels actually helped explain it? I gave it my best, and I hope that helps you along the way. Anyway, talking about getting along the way, we've got incredible images still coming in off the boats at sea. Let's have a look at the latest.
This winch is back one. I'm off watching 20 minutes. Alright. Just have some broken springs in the winch. So I started the back line up the load, which could be very dangerous. If you've got a lot of load on the sheet and then the winch starts spinning backwards, then the handles will spin, and if it hits you and the thing's unloading, then you can break your wrist. Left heel, please, honey.
Feels like you've still got longer to come down.
Well, just had a winch issue, so just come off watch. About 40 minutes late. Fix the winch, and then hopefully going to get some sleep before we back on watch at 10. Because ultimately, you got to keep the boat going fast, so if that means you don't sleep, then that's how it is.
About 560 miles from where we can probably expect the start of the doldrums. So really now it's a drag race south. We've got Mapfre just on our bow, Axo somewhere to leeward, and Dongfeng a bit further ahead of Mapfre again, maybe 10 miles up. So yeah, it's really just all about speed at the moment, going fast and trying to get south as quickly as we can, and then as we get closer to the doldrums it'll be about fine-tuning our position a little bit and seeing if we can move east or west a little, just to smooth the run through. 170 miles east of the Cape Verde, so it's actually pretty good. We've got a lot of westing in already, and already at 28 west, which is actually quite far west for this far north, so that's nice for us. And it looks like, if you look at the models right now, that the doldrums aren't going to be too bad, but we'll wait and see. We look at the satellite, there's still quite a lot of clouds about, but there's not too much new stuff coming up, but a lot can happen in the next day or so we'll wait and see. We need the boats in front of us to go slower, and the boats behind us to go slower, and us to get through, but it's never that simple.
Great stuff there from the boats. Certainly gives me the desire to get back out there. I'm here with you on weekend mode. Niall is off looking after the future generation of Olympic sailors, and we'll be back with you again tomorrow at 1300 UTC.